Okay, good morning guys. Welcome back here. So if you remember, a little while back, Darren was doing some wiring on a 60 Chev pickup. Well, he's got her all done. We got her pulled out of Darren's bay. We're gonna give her a wash and a clean up here, but I thought I'd just show you. I thought I'd show you the finished product. Not that you're gonna notice a huge difference because I don't know. Wiring's a hard thing to film. It's a hard thing to take pictures of too for customers because you know, how do you get up underneath the dash and start taking pictures? But anyway, we'll take a look at the truck and we'll show you the best we can. So we'll get over here. Now, this customer, he loves red. So he wanted all the loom that you see in red. He didn't want the black. So Darren's got it all nicely loomed up in there, you know, exactly where it should be. If you remember, I told you, we cleaned up. There should be a voltage regulator here. We got rid of the voltage regulator because of the fact that we put a brand new alternator on there. We put a more modern alternator, which is just a one-wire alternator. You know, you don't have, it's got a built-in regulator in it, I should say. So it just eliminates that shit from hanging around. If you remember, they had wires coming out of here, going over to the battery cables. You know, we got rid of all that. We tidied it up. Darren's got everything going to it. You know, there's a junction fuse box over there going on. It's got it nicely going into the firewall where it should be. Everything is tied up and looking good. He's done an awesome job. It's clean. And Rich will be very happy with this. It's a beautiful truck he's got here. Absolutely beautiful little truck. So now, we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can film for you in here. Now, what we also did was Rich wanted to put in a newer column. If you remember, the truck had a 71 to 72 Chevy column in it. So we got ahead and we went and put him a nice I did it column in there. So he's got all the tilt. He's got everything going on here. We'll see. See, we got the tilt going on. We got all the goodies going on there for him. Darren's just cleaned everything up. Like I say, it's very hard to film this, guys. I mean, here's the fuse panel. There's where he's mounted the panel. Very nice panel. Everything's tied up like it should be. And I don't know what else to tell you. Like I say, it's very, very hard to film. Obviously, we got the seat back in. We got the hood back on. That's pretty obvious. So there we go. We also, Rich wanted... He lives way up in the woods up here. Out here in the whack where we live. It's pretty dark at nighttime. So, I don't know if you can see this or not. But Rich picked up some nice little LED lights. And they're hidden right up underneath there. And they're super bright. They're super bright. At nighttime, they just... Oh, God, they must light up. They must light up a good 20, 30 feet past the vehicle. So, there we go. So, Rich's truck is all done. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to give it a wash and a clean because that's just what we do. The truck's been sitting around here for a couple weeks. It didn't take a couple weeks, but it's been here for 2 weeks now. And we're going to wash it and clean it up because unfortunately out here where I live, things get dusty very quick because of all the farmland. Tractors are roaming by all the time and there's dust everywhere. So, I'll give you the quick little walk around. Rich is coming to pick it up sometime today just after lunch. And of course, we got all his extra parts. That's the one thing we do. When customers come in, there's all the extra parts. They take all that stuff home. If he doesn't want it, well then, you know, we'll be more than glad to either throw it in our scrap bin or throw it off in our junk pile of shit. But we always give it back. You got to do that shit. You got to keep this stuff so customers see it all. They got to know what they were getting for their money. Never throw anything away. Oh, Darren also eliminated, had top post battery cables. He put on the side post. Just neater and cleaner. Tidies it up, gets them hidden. And so he likes doing that. I myself personally am a top post battery fan, but that's just me in general. But I do agree the side posts do kind of get them tucked up and out of the way. So there we go. So here's our next little project that rolled in. We got a 1950 Chevy 2-door hardtop. Now, this customer bought this car last year, never really drove it much. He got it near the end of summer, I believe. And he got hold of me. He says, hey, I hear you're an honest guy. You do good work. He goes, I don't know much about the car. He goes, I want you to check out the wiring. It's got all new wiring. He goes, but it's just a mess. So Darren's going to get in there today and take a look at it. He also wants us to see if we can't do some adjustment on the windows here. I don't know if you can see that, but the windows are out of whack. The problem here is like I said to the customer though, These cars should have a flipper. I call it a flipper up top. When the door opens, it flips up, goes down, and it doesn't have it. And somebody also has just put some rubber on there from Home Depot. So I mean, I can maybe adjust the windows a little bit, but without the proper parts, there's not too much you can do and get in there and do. So someone has clipped this car. Apparently, it's got a Nova clip under it, and they kept it a 6-cylinder. The 256. They kept the old 6 in there. A couple electric fans going on the front. That's a pretty tall K&N air filter. That's going to give you awesome power. That's got to gain you at least 20 horsepower going down the road. Anyway, so there we go. Good view of that. It's got the old flipper hubcaps on there. Oldsmobile flipper hubcaps, kind of a custom treat. Somebody has Frenched the headlights. For those that didn't notice, the headlights have been Frenched. What else have they done to this car? Well, they got the spotlight going on there right through the door, and they got that's the real spotlight. Let's see what else they've done. Obviously, they've clipped it, so obviously the car's sitting lower than it would have from factory. But other than that, the car looks to be original. Now, 1950 was the first year of the two-door hardtop for Chevy. That was the first year they had. My Chevy, which you remember, which will zoom in over there, my old girl that you see right there, she's a 52. You can see the grille is different looking and stuff like that. And but 1950 was the first year of the hardtop for anyone that wants to know out there. And the first year for Ford for a two-door hardtop was 1951. And that was the same year that Ford brought out the automatic transmission, and it was called the Ford-O-Matic. And it was an okay tranny, but it was pretty sluggish. The car was pretty sluggish. Anyway, so yeah, so he wants us to see, like, this is a prime example of what I mean. Here's a brand new wiring harness. You can see there's the fuse panel, but look at all the wires just hanging here. Look at, here's wires. Look how someone's done this. They just got them taped up because the ends are just left bare. Here's a wire that is actually bare. Like, this is the kind of bullshit that I'm talking about that you see. Let's shut this off. That's the kind of bullshit that I'm talking about that people do. People go out and they buy a new wiring harness, and here, let me jump off the subject for a minute, guys. It's got nice, beautiful gray interior. Someone's done the interior all up. But anyway, we'll get back on it. Let's get this turned. People run out there and they buy a brand new wiring harness and they put it in their vehicle, and that's all fine and dandy. But you know what? Take the extra time and tie it up and make it look neat. You know, don't just take the extra wires, if there is extra wires in your harness, and tie them in a big loop and leave them hanging underneath the dash. Like, that's just a mess. Like, there's ways around this stuff. Like, for an example, if you get a wiring harness and it comes with a, say it's set up for an electric fan, even though you're not running an electric fan, maybe run that wire through your already harness that you're running out to your firewall, and to your front of your radiator. Maybe run that wire, put an end on it so it can never get exposed to the weather, and leave it sit there and keep it inside the loom. So later in life, if you ever decide to put an electric fan on there, you've already got the wires already sitting there, rather than tied up in a big loop underneath the dash. You know, I mean, there's so many ways you can get around with cleaning this stuff up. So, you know, I don't know, but that's only me. We see so many cars that come in here and they've got new wiring harnesses in them, and you look underneath the dash and it's just a big mess of spaghetti. And customers start saying, well, can you clean this up? Well, the thing is that, you know what it's like when you get a bunch of extension cords all tangled up together. You can't straighten them out unless you unplug them from the main box and pull them straight, then retie them up and rewrap them. And well, it's the same thing with a harness. You can't really straighten it up unless you start undoing it from the fuse panel and pulling that wire out straight and figuring out what the hell's going on with it. So just take the extra time and do it properly, guys. You know, it's just so much easier. That's all I can tell you there. But anyway, you take my advice or you don't take my advice. It's all up to you. It's only my opinion, and like I said, my opinion doesn't mean fucking squat. I'm just trying to, if someone's out there watching, hopefully they pick up on something. Don't ever rush anything. When you rush things, you end up doing the job twice. And at the end of the day, it just takes even more time then. And you don't want that. So there's a little Chevy. So that's what Darren's going to be going on to today. And that's what's going on. And yeah. So we got some other shit going on in the shop. We'll get a new video up there for that too and show you what's happening. And that's it. There's the Chevelle. The Chevelle's got the rad support put in now. So we're working away on that. hopefully by the end of this month she's all bolted together and all wired up, and we'll have the exhaust on it by the end of April, and we'll be getting pretty close to firing it up, and then off the paint it'll go. So it's a beautiful, gorgeous day out here today in the WAC, and I want to say to all of you, thanks again for watching. Thanks for all you new subscribers. Remember, it's always a good time at Old Time. Check out our website. It's oldtimegarage.ca. There's tons of photos up there, and check us out on Instagram. Okay, guys, see you later.